Dear brothers and sisters, I must say, have a nice Sunday. We are in the deep of the night, and we inaugurate our contact with people or believers speaking English, thinking English, present in Brescia, but I hope to reach also my dear friend in Canada. All people speaking and thinking in English better than me, as you can understand. But with this poor meaning of the language, I want to transmit to you that the importance of the faith and the meditation on the word of the reading of this third Sunday of Lent. Do not murmur, say the scriptures, as your fathers did in the desert. This call resounds several times in the word of the Psalms, of the prophets, and of Jesus himself. The murmuring, yesterday as today, consists in complaining of others, of the world, and of God. The murmuring derives from the effort of working which extinguishes the enthusiasm of waiting, when the efforts and inconvenience seem to overcome the joy of being on the right path. The murmuring of the people in the desert, therefore, becomes the symbol of those who continually murmuring and complaining about everything and everyone tends to kill certainty by opening the doors of doubt, division, and discord. Who murmurs as a hardening heart. For this reason, he stops and goes back. But I'm not speaking about other people. Maybe the murmuring is here speaking to you sometime. God, patient and merciful, slow to anger and great in love, he listens to the thirsty in the desert in Meribah. Moses beats on the rock, and the water gushes out abundantly. St. Paul resumed the episode, bringing the symbolism to the extreme point when he says, remembering the fact, because that rock is Christ. In fact, every grace flows from Christ. From him only we have salvation, by the word from his mouth, the blood and water from the side that the soldier pierces without mercy. Through faith and not for works, which is why we have access to grace. The apostle warns us with exulting tones that the opposite of lamentation, murmuring, and division, which make us go back and not move forward, is hope. Hope that does not disappoint because it comes from the Spirit of God. Everything is contained in the mystery of the love of God. So we come to the episode of the Gospel. Jesus meets the Samaritan woman at Jacob's well, on the way with the disciples to Jerusalem, while the disciples go to the village to get the food, leaving him alone. The long dialogue between Jesus and the Samaritan woman who comes to the well to draw water is in reality an intense and pressing expression of divine revelation, through which the woman who was first exposed is then saved, unmasked. She was unmasked and then saved. Jesus is the living water. Whoever drinks it is no longer thirsty. Salvation comes from the Jews, and the real temple is in Jerusalem. But the time will come when the true worshippers will worship in spirit and truth. The woman becomes an instrument of the announcement, almost preparing the Easter announcement to Magdalena. The Gospel of John, here as elsewhere, gives the suggestive impression that whoever tells, writes or describes the author, we say John, as Jesus at his side, who suggests and shares. I think the most beautiful way to live and save oneself. That is my short commentary. I hope in the future to increase with the help of somebody I wait from heaven this part, this section of our gospel project. We are creating to find a new inspiration for our life and for our faith. I will remember to all listening to this short exhortation that we have created for immortality. That is now the last word. Last word is the resurrection. And we, in our life, definitively, we have only one true judge. His name is Jesus Christ. And we hope that this crazy, very deep crazy, and we pray for all people, all the humanity, all the Europe, all the Italy, and all Britain, will find not only health to combat these mysterious invisible virus, but also they will find a renewal of the faith, a true contact with the living God. It is hope for all, for the message of the gospel is addressed to all humanity. It is now reserved to a little group of nostalgic living in their little world closed. They must remember that the message is a universal one. I say to you all, have a nice Sunday.